so we just finished step 3. We're going to do step 4 to get my background into my photograph. So I'm going to click here, which will open Pixlr Editor. And then I'm going to click Open Image. And I'm going to select the background. And that's what, remember, we did that a minute ago. You selected and downloaded your background. So it should be in your downloads. So there, I have my background. Now to add my person to the background, it's a little different. I'm going to go to Layer, Add Image as Layer. And then I'm going to have to select the image again. And let's see, where did I save it to? It's got to be in my downloads. It's the PXLR BG Result 6. Downloads are alphabetical. There we go. And you click Open. Now, it's too big, right? So what I'm going to do is take this corner and shrink it down until it fits nicely. And I can just move it up as I'm working. And so I'm going to sort of have most of it showing. I want it centered. You can see those pink lines will show the center. And then it's in place. Awesome. Now I have a little bit of background still showing that I want to get rid of. So I have to tap over here to make sure I'm working on this layer. And then I'm going to select my eraser tool. Up here, you can change the size and shape of the eraser and how soft the edges are. I like to have a little softness on my edge so that it doesn't give me a hard edge. Just click out of there to make that disappear. And now I'm going to zoom in so I can see, whoops, more closely. And using the navigator panel, I'll slide it down so I can work here. And you can see I can just erase that background. When I get closer to my subject, I'm going to make my eraser a little bit smaller. I'm going to go down to maybe a 10. And then I'm going to zoom in even more so that I can really see what I'm doing. And I find it better to click on and off a few times as I'm doing something like this so that if I go too far, I don't have to undo a lot of my work. Pixlr Editor will save up to 16 of your steps over here on the history panel. So I can still go back all the way back to open if I want to at this point. So I'm just going to do a little quick cleanup. Now that I can see it a little closer, it looks like I missed a little bit of the pants, but that's okay. I'm not going to be that fussy. And now I'm going to go up. There's a little bit of background around my friend's earring that the other earring got cut off, so I'm just going to get rid of this one too. Just gently go in and hit a few pixels. There. All right, and now I can zoom back out again and go on to the next step. So now I have to have an object to obscure my friend's face. So I'm going to open Google image search. And I'm going to find a piece of Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese wedge. So if I click on that, you can do a couple things at this point. You can say transparent, if you can spell it, transparent. And it will give you transparent backgrounds. You see the ones with the checkerboards. What I have found is that that doesn't always happen. Sometimes you try to use them and they really aren't transparent after all. So I'm going to right click on this, save image as. You know, if I were showing my desktop or my download, I could just drag and drop it, but I'm not. So I'm going to download that. And then I'm going to go back to my photo editor, or I can test it and make sure in here that it is still transparent, and it is. So that's awesome. If you find an image that you want to use, or you take a photo of an object around your house and it's not on a transparent background, you can go back to Pixlr BG and get rid of the background. But because mine is transparent, I don't have to do that step. So I'm going to go to layer again, add image as layer, and find my cheese. Of course, somebody's texting me while I'm recording, but that's okay. Did I save it to my desktop? Yep. Cheese JPEG, and open. Oh, see, it's not transparent. So I'm going to go back a step, go here, and I'm going to download this one. That worked perfectly. And go back to add image as layer, and it's Pixlr number 7 in my downloads. There we go. We got some cheese. Now, to resize it, again, you just make sure you're clicked on this arrow up here, and you will see your insertion points. And then I can move it up, and when I get it the right size, I want it to look like it's just floating in front of my friend's face. I think it needs to be a teeny bit bigger. And that's it. Now you can play around with these images. You can add more to the backgrounds if you want. You can leave something here, and if you want to see what something else will look like, you can tap that check mark and it'll go away. When you're ready to save your image, you go to File, Save, and I like to move it all the way up to 100%. And if you are sure that you are done with it, you can click JPEG. If you think you might want to work on it some more, or if you don't get all the way done in one sitting, you want to save it as a PXD. That will save all of the layers. It makes it looks like a blank piece of paper, but I promise you the image will be there. But if you're 100% done with it, you just click JPEG and download, and then your image will download. And there we go.